Hello, friends, students. I apologize for being late again. This is horrible, Kevin. You're just setting up a terrible precedent. But here I am. Let me know how I can be helpful to you guys. It is officially May 1st. Wow. And I have been hearing that the schedule for so many high school classes, middle school classes has just been all over the place. I have some students who are getting out of school on May 18th, and I have other school students who are getting out of school at like mid-June, which is bonkers to me. Some people have shortened summers, all that crazy stuff. But yeah, today I will talk a little bit more about my college regrets. There's a video that I made a few weeks ago about those regrets. So the first one was about gap years. The second one is probably, it's quite tricky, but not to care so much about what other people think. But really, gap year and traveling abroad is the biggest one. I think I got a lot of things right in college. I would say that I regret not being pre-professional, question mark. Like, man, I had a lot of anxiety about where I would end up after college in terms of jobs, in terms of industries, in terms of even location. So kind of wish I had given more thought to that and done like more internship hunting when I was younger. But yeah, if there's anything in particular that you guys want me to talk about in like really hyper detail, of course, I'm more than happy to do so. I am an open book. I'm just here to be used and leveraged as a resource for you guys. And really, I am just trying to teach you guys everything that I wish I knew a couple of years ago. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you don't have to make the same mistakes as I did. It's almost been a year since I graduated from Yale. Been a pretty crazy year, but also a really, really good year for me personally, financially, romantically. A lot of things kind of came together. Okay, college regrets. Before I dive in, I will also mention, please, I'll write it in the chat. If you are feeling uber duper generous today, show your love by sending this channel and I a super sticker or a super chat. A super sticker or super chat. Yes, I think I've had 2 so far from Emma, Yang, and one other. The history is all there. If you guys actually like buy a sticker, you do you have any friends who did college right? What do they do? Share their stories. Yes, Mama Shalanga, I do. There's one interview. So as you guys know, I've been interviewing like tons of kids from different colleges. My goal is to interview like 100 students. And there is one student in particular who I remember hearing her story. And we weren't even that close in college. We weren't even that close in high school, excuse me. But they did college really, really well. Let's see. There's one from MIT. Her name's Heather Nelson. I think she really took advantage of all the opportunities that MIT had. Here's Heather Nelson's interview. So Heather, I was really jealous of Heather because she basically traveled abroad 2 or 3 times. I think she went to Jordan. Yeah, she taught refugees. She also interned in Amsterdam and also worked in Spain and in Italy as well. And MIT, oh man, I can't remember the exact name of it, but basically they have a break for 2 weeks or so where you can work on a project. Maybe it's like independent project, something along those lines. And basically you can go somewhere else and work, take some time off. So Heather took total advantage of that, and she's now in Vietnam doing like some bio food related sustainability project. So really, really awesome how much she did. Now, the really impressive thing, guys, is that I'm about to release a video about like, so you got into college, like now what stuff is about to get real. And one of the things that I highly recommend is you guys sit down and just write out 20 things that you want to do over the next, I mean, this can apply even if you guys are not going to college next year. Like, let's say it's your senior year, junior year. I think it's just really helpful to do this every single year. I am about to do it I like to split up my life into, strangely enough, like 3-month blocks. So I'll write down like 10 things that I really want to get done, and then, or 20 things, and then just cross out everything but 5, everything but those 3 or 4, 5 really top priorities. So Heather, I'm jealous because she traveled a lot. You know, that is not to say I also traveled quite a bit, but I wish I had done so more on Yale's dime. You know, I organized Model UN conference and all that kind of stuff. Like, guys, if you have not studied abroad, like during those 4 years of college, you kind of did college wrong. Please, there's literal money being thrown at you from not just your university, but all kinds of universities. All you have to do is just write a couple essays. Like, really, you just trade words and time for free trips. Is that not the best deal ever? It is. So definitely take advantage of that. My recommendation is to study abroad. The best time is between that freshman and sophomore year. So that summer. Reason being, you can go to Europe, you can go to Asia, take some courses, and then you actually get credit, and you can apply those credits to your diploma, your graduation requirements. So now your sophomore and junior year are going to be a little bit lighter in course load. You could alternatively, I recommend everyone should just take a gap year. Even if you think you can't take a gap year, yes, you can. Like, I was in a position where I didn't think I could take time off. I really wanted to graduate, make money as quickly as possible, and send money home. But now that I think about it, it might have actually been better if I had left for a year and gotten a really great internship, and that might have helped me more. Actually, now that I think about it, that definitely would have helped me more in terms of getting a great career. If you gap year and you take that time off, guys, now you don't have to compete against the 99% of all other students, right, who are looking for summer internships, because you could do an internship in the winter, you can do an internship in the spring, and people are desperate, looking for smart kids. And the way to do it is just kind of email your 20 favorite companies and just say, hey, look, I really want to work, and show up with some work that you've already done. Like, let's say I want to work at SpaceX or something. You can show up and say, hey, I've already designed this kind of prototype. I saw you guys were working on this. Just wanted to chat about it. People will be impressed if you've already made that kind of, leap forward. So that's studying abroad. That's gap year. You can also take a gap year between sophomore and junior year. You can take a gap year between junior and senior year, guys. Freshman and sophomore year, like, just take time off. It's just kind of ridiculous to think that, from kindergarten, literally from age 5 all the way until age 21, you're going to be in school every single year of your life. That's the way the system was designed. Does it really work that way for everyone? Is that ideal for everyone? I don't think so. People are going through different stuff. I mean, I was editing college admissions essays this year, and I was so shocked to hear like the stuff that people are going through, like literal. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go off on a quick tangent real quick. 2 stories, guys. I mean, this was just absolutely mind-bending, where I had one student talking about his entire family of like 8 or 9 had one laptop, and he would use this laptop time, which was maybe 30 minutes every 2 days or an hour every 2 days, and he was just so passionate about music, and so he would listen to music and he would produce music with his beats. And like, I think for people who are a little bit behind, in the sense that you didn't have as much opportunity as other kids, maybe things, just not as fluid as you had to move around, you had to skip school, it might be helpful to take that time off and get like a really solid, impressive internship, do something cool with your work experience, volunteer, do something kind of just that stands out. So that will help you with college admissions and also getting a job later down the road. That's one story. Another story is just like, there's this one girl who was so sick, and, he was missing tons of school. And for those kinds of people, does it make sense to just like keep doing school year after year after year after year? No, take time, take care of yourself. There's some things that are just more important than school. And in this case, I think it's actually kind of a wise strategy. College regrets, I'll get to those too. Let me answer some of these questions. Do you wish you had dated more in university? By Yolanda. Yolanda, every week comes in here, hitting me with the romantic questions. Oh my goodness. Wearing my heart on my sleeve. Do I wish I had dated more? Yes, I kind of wish I had. I was really scared. And, here were some of the excuses going through my mind, which was, I'm kind of a short guy. Like, if I were looking for girls who are even in my possible range of dating, like, I guess I could have dated girls who are taller than me, but like, I'm kind of a small guy. I'm 5'5", been kind of insecure about that. And the other things related to just like general Asian male insecurities, stuff like that. And I don't know. I think in my mind, I put myself in such a box thinking about, I need to date this sort of person. Or I wish I had just experimented more for sure and asked out more girls. I think in the beginning, when you're young and you're a freshman in college, you think like, I can only date freshmen. It would be kind of a big deal to date like a sophomore or a junior. I'm like speaking honestly from prior experience. And I remember talking to some of my breakdance buddies, and they're like, yeah, it gets better when you're a senior. You just have like more things open up. You can also date people who, I guess you could date people who are not in your specific university. But at any rate, I think I just made up a lot of excuses for myself. I got rejected a lot my freshman year, and I think that had kind of a toll on me. And I just decided that no. I'm just gonna chill out. I'm just gonna focus on my extracurriculars and channel my emotional energy into like my arts, like breakdancing and stuff like that. When honestly, I think I was just making up excuses for myself. I wish I had dated more. Sure, that's the short answer. And for guys, it's just I don't want to say it's a numbers game, but you have to get more comfortable with approaching girls and also just asking them. The same thing goes for girls as well. And just approaching people and know that like if you approach 0 people, you will never date anyone. So if you can just train yourself to step out of your shell and approach, let's say 2 people a month, one new person a week, someone you think that's cute or attractive at the coffee shop, at in the lecture hall, and just say, hey, I think you're really cute. I notice you give them a compliment and then just say, hey, would you want to grab a cup of coffee sometime? And that's it. And sometimes I think I started doing that more once I was confident my senior year, and I was actually getting a lot more positive responses. Of course, it's awkward. People are always afraid. What if you get rejected? And then you see this person in class every single week. Yes, it's a risk. You're going to have to live with it. The other risk is that you don't say anything and nothing happens and you just kind of sit there, and then life just kind of flies by, To Jasmine, my program at U Toronto has mandatory study and work abroad. I'm so excited. Yes, to Jasmine. U Toronto is such a great school. I'm so thankful and so glad that they have this program for you. I think it's just so beneficial for every single student. I can't imagine a scenario where it's not good for a student to get some real world experience and study abroad. Yeah. I mean, arguably, Jasmine, let's say she's a senior, she's done mandatory work abroad and study abroad. And, I have just been studying at Yale for 4 years and my extracurriculars aren't that great. These employers look for work experience. They're not just interested in like the university brand name. I would be much more interested in a kid from University of Florida who's worked at SpaceX during their gap year than a mechanical engineer at Yale, right? Who doesn't have a portfolio. So any surprising successes from your high school classmates who did not graduate at the top of your high school class and end up at T20 schools by Mama Shalanga? Mama Shalanga, the very first video I did, which was about my friend who graduated with literally half my GPA at Exeter, half my GPA at high school, and is now getting a master's in AI and is just about to make just be so successful. This guy's name is Tarun Thamala. Let me see if I can pull it up. Tarun, let's see. Yeah, I mean, he got into Texas A&M. He had straight C's in high school, and now he's getting a master's in AI. Here's Tarun over here. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Check that one out. So, he kind of just realized and listened to all his friends, including me, getting into really great schools. He decided to go to Texas A&M, where he grinded out and just studied so hard. Got a perfect 4.0 GPA. He won some competitions. He got really coveted internships. And then he transferred to UT Austin, which is right behind MIT and Carnegie Mellon in terms of computer science. And so now he's really interested in AI and wants to get his master's, because these days you need a master's in AI in order to get hired, as crazy as that sounds. But yeah, he's doing that all online. Things are going well. And I'm just so proud of him, truly a come up story. And it's not to say, guys, this could be you. Maybe your grades weren't great in high school, or maybe you go to college and there's another example of a student who he was majoring in physics and then he got a really poo-poo GPA his first year, and he had to spend the rest of his entire academic years catching up and trying to get above a 3.5. If you guys don't have above a 3.5, it's going to be kind of hard to get those really nice coveted jobs, internships, and things like that in college. So make sure your GPA is above a 3.5. That's why I recommend sometimes freshman year, take easy classes, get the core out of the way, make sure you get a perfect GPA. And that's just going to help boost your whole, just make life easier for you years down the road. Trust me. All right, guys. Yeah, that was a really great question. Oh, hi, Esperanza. Hello. Just as a reminder, if you guys are feeling the love today, it would mean the world to me if we got one person, just one. That's all I want on this beautiful May 1st, one for May 1st, to donate, I guess, a super sticker or a super chat. Obviously, it's not required, but if you guys feel compelled, you feel moved, and you want to thank the channel for what we do here, what I do, it's just me. And yeah, don't forget to like and let me know where you guys are tuning in from, where you guys watching this live stream from. I'm currently filming this in my girlfriend's bedroom, of all places in the world, in Salvador, Brazil. It's pretty nice. Should I show you guys the view outside? Yeah, I think I will. Let's see if we can show you guys. Ooh, It's nice out here. She lives out by this kind of like park area, and there's like a pool down below. I don't know if you guys can see the pool, but yeah, it's chilling. I'm leaving Brazil in about 2 weeks, so I'm going back to New York, and then I'll be in Miami. I have so much awesome content planned out for you guys, like this college survival guide, just how to do lots of things and survive through college, like how to cook, how to negotiate financial aid packages. Yeah, Bahia. I'm in Salvador, Bahia, Mama Shalanga. That's where I'm at, which is very far away from Miami, but also kind of the same time zone. My plan is to just fly around between Miami and Brazil for the next 2 years, become a professional YouTuber. I think once I hit like 5K subs, 10K guys, 10K, it's like real. This is my job. Until then, I still have to tutor a lot. And I think if I hit like 100K, it's game over. Like, honestly, above 10K would make me, I think we're good. I would be so happy. Yes, Len, I don't know who that is. Jorge Amado. I'll have to ask about that. I am excited about going home. I am. I miss my mom's Chinese food, and I miss my dog, my puppy, guys. He's so cute. He's not a puppy. He's 12 years old. He's like 11 years old. But I miss him. We used to go on walks 3 times a day, listen to audiobooks, all that good stuff. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ping me, ask me whatever you guys want. I'm an open book, personal, deep, probing questions about college, any anxieties or insecurities, questions that you guys have. I really want to be a resource for you guys. Like I just really want to help you guys. So please don't hesitate to ask me. There's no dumb questions, okay? Just dumb people, as my old teachers used to say. Let me have some coffee, and then I'll dive into some of my regrets. Another one of my college regrets. Okay, so you guys are going to discover in college, this might already be happening in high school, but as you get older, like sorts like attracts like. And I'm really sad about the fact that I didn't kind of push myself to branch out more in college. It gets, I'll get to that question, Yolanda, that's a good question. What was the sex culture and like, did any of your friends regret doing anything in this sense? Let me jump into, what is it called? Oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, branching out. So in this case, this was so weird because I went from Exeter, which is private boarding school, and I felt like Exeter, the distinctions between socioeconomic status, between race, gender, diversity. Okay, maybe not gender, but the fact of the matter is that we lived in this dorm, and we were locked inside the dorm. We were locked inside every night from 9 p.m., 10 p.m. onwards. And in this case, Vassar, okay. Okay, I'm just looking at some of the questions. Wow, Mama Shalanga, you know so much about about this author. I will definitely check him out. Okay, let me get back to this regret. So, okay, guys, just don't do this, please. I really want you guys to branch out, and the best way to do this is, so let me talk about like the hole that I kind of dug myself in, right? I'm an Asian dude. I like anime. I like breakdancing. I like hip hop, and I just found so many people who were very similar to me in that respect. Learned about it in my psychology class, which was called Attraction and Relationships. And we naturally want to be friends with people who are very similar to us, right? Kindergartner, you show up, hey, my favorite color is green, your favorite color is green, bam, best friends for life. I mean, it's not like that in college, and yet it is like that in college. Like once you discover people who have those same passions, academic interests, lifestyle, hobby, fashions, it's so easy to just get caught up and swept up and hang out with those people again and again. And I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't done that so much. I did hang out with different kinds of people, but I think that one of the best things I did in college was join this Model UN team, because we organized Model UN conferences for high schoolers all around the world. But the team itself was really, really diverse. People from different backgrounds, just like very kind, genuine people who are not really like me at all. Like I'm kind of like a rugrat in some ways, a troublemaker. I like to take risks, and these people were much more they were really different from me. And I learned so much about work, about, relationships and stuff like that from them. So the bottom line is, guys, the best way to develop this kinship with those different kinds of people is to join a club or an organization where you can get those interactions. See, same thing with my secret society. I kind of cured this problem last year by total chance, by luck, with my secret society, because typically secret societies are not very they don't have a lot of POC. This one was also kind of white, but not super duper white. And I would say the biggest thing was interacting with people who are just totally different lifestyles and grown up in a different way from me. If you guys can find that, your college experience will be so much richer, and you'll be grateful for it. So that's what I recommend. It's not like you're just going to find these people in the dining hall. I don't think that's kind of how it works. You're not going to just approach them on the street, hey, can we be friends? It's going to take you to kind of join a group. And because you have that set ritual, I'm a huge believer in rituals, whether it's like, waking up every day and meditating, or, the way my girlfriend and I approach our relationship, and we try to not quote unquote check boxes, but make sure that we're doing things on a consistent basis to really promote the quality of the relationship. I think it's very similar in terms of how you create friends who are, or, find friendships, navigate friendships, form friendships with people who are different from you. You will need you'll need a bit of effort on your own end, but also the ritual aspect. I hope that kind of makes sense. Doesn't the res college system encourage more mixing? Yeah, it does. Res colleges at Yale do encourage mixing, but I think it encourages it, but it's not. I think that, yeah, it's not perfect. I think maybe it's because there's not a ritual, honestly, now that I think about it. And the res college is kind of too big. Some people just end up, well, the way the res college works, I'll tell you this, it kind of works like this, right? Like you're put in a dorm, and this applies to most living situations, not just a residential college at Yale. You're put in this dorm, and there's like 50, 100, maybe even 200 people. Depending on some schools, there might even be like 500 people in the dorm. And you might run into like a few handful of kids that you just genuinely click with. You know what I mean? So because it's not a set group where you guys are meeting all the time and sharing, you're just going to find people that you gradually navigate or naturally gravitate towards you. And in that scenario, it's more like the first case, where it's less mixing, ironically, because people just end up self-sorting in such a big pool. What was the sex culture at Yale like? A lot of people think that kids at Yale are just like, I saw this one video which was like, what do you think the body count is for kids at Yale? So like, how many kids or how many people has the average Yaley slept with? The way I would categorize it, guys, is it's kind of like this curve. It's like a double hump, where I think there's one group, one percentage of the population, let's say 10 to 15%, when these guys are like absolute, yeah, they're everywhere. Let's just say that. Their body count is probably 10 plus, 12 plus. Mind you, like the average body count, which is the number of people, the average human being has had sex with, is 3 or 4. So it's really not that high. I know a lot of people at Yale who had just never had sex with anyone and were virgins, and were actually kind of worried about that, graduating as a virgin. And I would say that applies to more of Yale than those people who are like hooking up with people all the time. Were there a commentary on like hookup culture in college versus relationships. The way it works is like a lot of people enter college with relationships, right? High school sweethearts, and then they end up kind of breaking up after a year or two. That's just kind of like statistically, that's the norm. It's an anomaly for people to continue dating their high school sweetheart and stay connected all throughout college. It happens, but is it rare? It's much rarer than people breaking up, sure. So that will happen. And then typically, I can tell you, I can predict the timeline, which is that people will break up by the winter, or they will break up by the spring, typically in that December to March or April sort of timeline. And at that point, I got the sense that like I saw people in relationships, but it was a minority. And then people who weren't in relationships, who were hooking up with other people, kind of wish that they had a relationship. It was such a funky thing where people hook up and they get together, but at the same time they're hoping for something deeper, more spiritual, I guess, more fulfilling than just a one night stand. And I would say that even in college, like it's rare that it gets to the point of partying, going out, random hookups at night, like drunken hookups. I think that's something that you just see in the movies, but sometimes it just stops at like, you guys are kissing in the club and then that's it. And I would say that I really think that it's quite rare for people to go out and then return home with a stranger, have sex with them, move on with their lives. I just don't think that's like how the majority of, at least at Yale, I don't think that's how Yale operated. I could be wrong though. I'm not, it's not like I have security cams over everyone's kind of shoulders looking at them, but I think that's very atypical. Maybe again, that was just representative of the group that I hung around with, but really, No, I don't think it was like that. I really don't. And let's say like the average dude went out 50 nights. What percentage of those nights was he actually like hooking up with another person? Like I think it's less than 10 or 20%. But yeah, sometimes people just go out more to really steam and escape stress, escape the realities of Yale and midterms and things like that, not necessarily to hook up. Yeah, I don't think people go out with that kind of like hookup intention. Maybe in the beginning, okay, first semester, people are going wild. There's a lot more saliva flying around, but so that I hope that kind of answers your question, Yolanda. Guys, what other questions do you guys have? Wow, we're joined by 12 people on the live stream. Maybe it's 11 plus me. Okay, we just lost one. But don't forget to like this video if you found this useful, and let me know where you guys are watching from. Gladys is from Massachusetts. That's awesome. I think Gladys is kind of a new name. I don't think I've seen you before. I see so many regular faces, of course, regular names and faces. Mama Shalanga, Esperanza. Maybe Esperanza's new. I'm not sure. I am planning on requesting a deferral to take a gap year. I'll be working, but besides that, what else should I do during COVID? Great question. I will make a video, very detailed video on this subject, but basically let's talk about how to plan the ideal gap year. Let's talk about it. I remember hearing about one of my friends' mom's friend's daughters. Okay, it's kind of like a few degrees removed from me, but she just did this really genius gap year that I thought was brilliant. Separating your life into kind of these 3-month blocks. And you can start by doing work, start by working at like a more official firm, and then also do some variation of menial labor. So a service job, like where, I don't know, if you're really interested in a type of food, for instance, maybe you could go work at like a barbecue restaurant down in the South, do that for 3 months. And then this girl, I'll tell you what this girl did actually. So she worked as a waitress at like a brunch place for 3 months. Then she learned how to code on her own for 3 months. Then she worked on a campaign for 3 months. And then she traveled Europe for 3 months. I was like, someone is doing something right here. I was like, that is brilliant. That is amazing. I wish I had that kind of level of organization to make that all happen. But if I were to kind of rephrase that, so spending 3 months developing on a particular skill. So if I were to redo a gap year, here's what I would do, right? Like I really care about cooking. So maybe I would work in like a barbecue restaurant, pitmaster, apprentice for 3 months. Bam. Then I really want to get better at editing. Maybe I would do like a deep dive filmmaking, editing course for 3 months. Then I want to do something kind of academic that would boost my resume, internship, something along those lines. Really interested in investment, personal finance. So maybe I go work for an investment firm for 3 months, bam. And then last but not least, traveling for 3 months. Just figuring out a road trip or flying to Europe, working at hostels, floating around. Maybe I save up some money and I go to Asia, backpack around Asia. Or maybe I'm like a real big money baller and I decide to go to Australia, New Zealand, and I'm just applying some of my filmmaking techniques there. That's what I would recommend, guys. Separating into 3-month blocks. I think 3 months will give you enough time to really learn the ropes of any kind of, yeah, just get into it. Kevin, I lost. Who's this? What did you lose, heroes? What did we lose? Hopefully that's helpful, guys. Please, please, please take a gap year. I think he promised me right now. That is like my biggest regret, that I didn't take a gap year and travel. If you guys are looking for cheap places to travel, whoa, got rejected from 15 schools this year, going to UCSD. UC San Diego is a solid school, my friend. Look, I know that this is tough. My friend, heroes, let me offer you some encouraging words. I know this sounds like really, maybe this is not what you want to hear at this moment in time, but getting rejected from like a lot of the schools that you applied to might have been the best thing that happened to you. And to the extent that you can still transfer, right? Like there's so many, I'll tell you 3 good options that you can do. Ball out at UCSD and you can transfer to a great school. Like there's another girl on this channel, okay? Her name starts with a D, and she applied to Williams. She applied to colleges 3 times before getting into her like dream school. And this year I helped her get in. There was a less than 2% acceptance rate. And she came from like literal, like, was a refugee, right? And went to community college, grinded it out, and transferred. You can do the same thing, heroes. This is just one blip in your journey. And I'm telling you, Like, sure, maybe all your life you were told by parents and stuff that you need to go to an Ivy League school. That's not true. Grad school matters a lot more too. Maybe you're going to save a lot of money. I'll tell you that if you go to UCSD and you're a California resident, for sure. Ball out, transfer. Okay, there's still a happy ending to this. You could take a gap year. You could reapply. You could go to UCSD, excuse me, for 3-4 years. Decide that you want to get a master's at like Harvard, and bam, like again, that would show volumes about the kind of person you are. UCSD is 75K a year. Okay, my friend. I think that honestly, maybe you should gap year, or you can get some scholarships, do it for a year, and then transfer. Oh, that's solid. Waitlist for CMU, Georgia Tech, UMich. Oh, those are all really great for computer science. Kimberly Rush. Kimberly, new name. What's better, top liberal arts colleges or Ivies? So it depends what you want to study. It depends what kind of career you want to go into. It depends on your personal preference. Like, are you a fan of kind of smaller schools, woodsy vibe, more exposure to the environment, slower pace of life? I think that the liberal arts colleges like Williams, Amherst, Swarthmore are actually more academically rigorous than Harvard, Yale, Princeton. I'm going to say it again. I think that the quality of education at Williams, Amherst, Swarthmore is better than Harvard and Yale. Like at Harvard and Yale, there's just so many more lecture courses, and you don't get that personalized one-on-one attention. Like if you don't show up to class at Williams, my friend told me, like, you would get the whip. Like your teacher would know. You get an email. They can see you if you fall asleep. It's just you get so much more assignments, and because of that, you learn more. It is more stressful. It depends on what you want, though. In liberal arts, the whole concept is that you can try a lot of different things. And so if you have a variety of academic interests, that might be better for you. Yale in particular, like let's say, in what case would an Ivy League school be better than a liberal arts college? It's better for the prestige. It's better for the connection. If you're interested in working in finance and being kind of like a socialite, politics, that sort of stuff, then yeah, like a third of Ivy League grads go into these big tech companies and work at finance companies. So if that's what you want, then that might be better for you. Armand, congrats. Guys, let's throw a reaction for Armand, our boy, for getting into Columbia. Where are you from, Armand? Which country are you from? Really, really hard to get in as an international student. So congrats to you. I'm so honored and thankful to just be a small part of your journey. I'm glad that you found my videos helpful. I used to charge guys like $80, $100. I still kind of charge that much now, but it's not like I'm advertising my services to you guys. Like I feel like I've made enough money. I just want to help you guys from the bottom of my heart. Like I was literally cooking rice in my parents' Chinese restaurant 5 or 6 years ago, sweating my balls off. Okay. And now I just want to help you guys. Like I know I've been through everything that you guys have been through, and I want to continue helping generation after generation of students. I see these other college YouTubers, and I just like, they do vlogs, they do like fun stuff. I just want to deliver value and help you guys. Like you have no idea how much I mean it when I say your success is my success. I'm really rooting for you guys, and it makes I just feel like I have purpose in the world when I see these messages from you guys. And sometimes they're happy stories like Armand, and sometimes they're not perfect endings like Heroes. But like I said, Heroes, like I will work with you and I'll help you if you want to transfer to a better school. This is not the end of your journey. It is merely a roadblock. Congrats. How big are Yale lecture courses? They can range anywhere from 50 people to the biggest ones like 300 or 400 people, maybe 300 max. But yeah, congrats, man. Cheers from Turkey. All right. Maybe I should go to Turkey one of these days and have a meal with your family. Yeah, just contact me, Heroes. I'm sure we can figure something out. What other questions you guys have? I have like 15, 16 more minutes, and then I have to teach a lesson. But this is your opportunity to chat with me, to connect with me. And please don't feel shy. Ask me whatever you guys want. I'm really happy to answer. As you can see, like I'm an open book. I just talked about sex culture at Yale, ranging to gap years and all that kind of stuff. So just let me know what I can help you with. I'm gonna take a quick coffee break. What percentage of your Yale classes were large lectures? Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. That's a good question. So the way it works pretty much at every school is that your first year will be working on filling out those general requirements. So you might have At Yale, you take
Is on top of her game. Like, actually, do you have some tuition out of books?
Oh, my girlfriend just came in, Mama Shilanga, and she said that she does have some Jorge Amado books. I'm gonna have to read. That's wow, you're on top of it. You're on top of it. Well, we have 19 people in the live stream. Welcome, welcome, guys. I feel so honored. I feel like I'm teaching a small class. Okay, what percentage of Yale classes were large lectures? You start off your first year or two, pretty much all of the classes. I don't think there are any. Okay, correction. There are some intro level classes which are seminars, but this is kind of unique to Yale. They're called freshman seminars. Definitely take those smaller classes if you can, as much as possible. In general, the percentage of Yale classes that were large lectures, the ones that I took were probably somewhere between 30 to 40%. 30 to 40% of my classes were large lectures. Now, I am a lazy caterpillar. Okay, look at me. This is Kevin, the lazy caterpillar, because I took lecture classes during my junior and senior year because A, they're easier, and B, you don't have to show up to class to get an A. So I was actually missing like a ton of class during my junior and senior year because I was kind of traveling, doing business competitions and that sort of thing. Don't recommend that. If you actually want to, squeeze and make the most out of your degree, then I highly recommend attending as much seminars as possible. They're going to be harder. There's going to be more work. Are you going to get more personalized attention? Are you going to learn more? Yes and yes. So it kind of just depends on what you want to make your journey as. If you, yeah, I mean, it depends. Like humanities will have a lot more smaller seminars when you're a junior or senior versus the STEM classes. If you're pre-med, I guarantee you'll be sitting through orgo lectures, you'll be sitting through chem lectures, you'll be sitting through orgo is chem, but you'll be sitting through a lot of different kinds of lectures. Sunny Bunny, hello, long time no see, Sunny Bunny. Angela M, I'm a high school junior. While you were in my shoes, was there something about Yale that attracted you to it? Did it hold true once you were onto campus? Guys, Yale is the best school in the nation because kids there are just so freaking happy. They are actually so happy. I went to Princeton and the kids were not happy. They were kind of academically burnt out. I visited Harvard and they told me it was really tough to be a freshman, fitting in socially. It's easy to get just kind of, there's just a lot of kind of social climbing ladder stuff. I'm just not a fan of that. Yale was so inclusive. It's homey. People care about each other. That's why. That's really why. Nick Che hates Princeton. Okay, I'm not surprised. Most of my kid friends who went to Princeton didn't actually have a great time. It was very, very stressful. Rock Dot is going to boarding school. Any advice? What do I take with me? That's a good one. You shouldn't be allowed to live in Bahia without reading a book by Amado. Okay. Let me answer this question first by Esperanza. I don't want to forget it. What are some essential things to bring for your dorm room? Let me think about it for a second. Okay, Yale and Brown are the happiest two Ivies. All right, we'll say that. Brown also has some healthy puff culture, which may explain why they're happier than the rest of us. Okay, so essential things to bring for your dorm room. The two things that kind of popped up into my head were lights. You're actually going to want some lights. Lights are, first of all, the lights that they give you in the dorm room are nasty, guys. Okay, they're like hospital lights. They're disgusting. Don't use them. I would recommend getting 3 lamps and putting them in different corners of your room. Lighting is also shown to help improve focus and study, straight up. So the brighter your space is, the better your grades will be. I firmly believe that. Get like a little happy lamp too if you need it. That's one thing. The other thing that you probably need is really invest in great bedding. Like you want your bed in college to be a sanctuary. Get like that weighted blanket, that nice comfy comforter, pillows, whatever you need in order to really enjoy it. And just make your room as much of a homey place as you can. I had little Christmas lights that I hung up. Other than that, really, it's just kind of general stuff. Maybe you need like office supplies, some books, just wardrobe stuff. But I think those, for me, were the most important. Investing in sleep, getting those maybe noise-canceling headphones or earplugs, and also an eye mask. Where's my eye mask? My girlfriend knows I can't live without. It's literally right here next to me, my eye mask that I got. Wow, you guys are going after me, heroes. Why did you stop posting on your breakdance Insta page? Quick response. I got kicked out of my breakdance spot, so I've just been doing daily yoga these days. I do try to stay active, and I was exercising like every day. Had a little 6-pack going, but anyways. Yeah, don't self-reject, Larissa. Please don't. You guys know I'm all about that mantra of don't reject yourself before you've even been rejected. Your thoughts of, oh, I might get rejected, oftentimes that tends to manifest itself in the real world where you start closing your eyes to opportunities and believing. You, as crazy as it sounds, like you need to learn to believe before other people do. Thank you, heroes. Wow, you're following my breakdance Insta. Thoughts on pre-med at Yale? Ragdad, Ragad, maybe you can hit me up privately, and I'll give you more personal advice about boarding school. But it's not, yeah, I don't know if that's like really helpful to the rest of the people on the live stream. So just, yeah. By the way, guys, if you're all here and you want to chat, I appreciate you really joining me. bit.ly/father Kevin 20. Like technically, the link is still active, and you guys can meet with me. It's not. It's just like don't really promote it anymore. But if you guys are here on the live stream and you're supporting me, then I'm more than happy to meet with you for 20 minutes and talk about whatever in the world you want to talk about, whether it's just strategy, professional development, you just want to complain about, I don't know, the rain or your parents. I'm happy to chat with you. So pre-med at Yale, stress culture at Yale. Pre-med at Yale, I have a lot of friends who are pre-med. A lot of the breakdance friends of mine were actually pre-med, doing engineering, that sort of thing. Pre-med is kind of the same everywhere, guys. And there is a case to be made where it might have been better going to like University of Florida. I literally heard some of my pre-med friends say this. Had I gone to a state school where it was easier, I would have saved money, balled out, and it would have been easier to get into a med school. But now if you go to like pre-med at Yale and you're competing against all these other brilliant kids who like, sleep with textbooks underneath their pillows and can have photographic memories, it's not that bad. But I mean, there are some really smart people there, and you're going to have to compete with them for coveted lab positions, research opportunities, and stuff like that. So look, if your dream is to become a doctor, then it actually might not be the best to go to an Ivy League school. Like you could just save money. You could transfer. Stress culture at Yale. Kids at Yale are pretty stressed. Not because I think the academic course load is that stressful, but there's just kind of like a culture of complaining. People just like to complain and whine. So I'm hesitant to go out of state. You're in Florida because of med school. Yeah, Larissa, just like there's Florida prepay. I'm from Florida, right? Like literally go to, you can do pre-med in Florida, and then go to a great med school. right? Like I knew there was a University of Miami. He's I had a friend who got into that, like UM's program, which is the 5-year. He's becoming like a neurologist or neurosurgeon. He did the 4+1 or 4+2, 4+3, whatever it's called. But he got into that program straight out of high school. He had perfect grades. Like that kid is gonna do better, and is this like a better opportunity for him than going to pre-med at like Harvard, honestly. But maybe it's not just about pre-med. Maybe it's about the people and the friendships and the adventures that you make. So that's that might be better as well. It just depends on what you guys want. Northwestern, my dream school. Northwestern has an amazing computer science program. It's just a great school. It's like definitely top 20, top 30, depending on the program. I think their English and writing is really good. And yeah, it's a really, really great school. Northwestern, lots of people. Northwestern is in is that the one? I kind of get them confused sometimes. Northwestern and Northeastern. Northwestern's in Chicago, right? It must be, yeah. Northwestern has good computer science and business, I think. Thoughts on Princeton? Princeton has grade deflation. Last time I checked, it's just very academically rigorous. It was my number one choice for years. Ended up not going. I got in, but I ended up not going because I remember walking around campus and it was beautiful spring day and no one was outside. It was like a ghost town. I was like, what is going on here? And I decided that I wanted to be somewhere where I was happy and where I could sleep. And Princeton kids were just getting just like slams with schoolwork all day. So I'm not sure if I wanted to be. I had just gone through like the most academically rigorous grind. And I was just kind of, maybe I didn't want to do that anymore. Okay, guys, we have a few more minutes. I'll entertain like 2 or 3 more questions. Let me know what you guys want me to answer for you. Do you think prestige matters? It just depends on like what career you want to go to. Like I mentioned, becoming a doctor, like it looks, thanks, Mama Schlock. That's funny. I look better in blue than orange. Do I think prestige matters? It depends on what industry you're trying to go into. Like the consulting companies and finance and investment might care more. Like honestly, guys, if you want to work at Google, your best chance at working at Google, You don't even need a degree to work at Google these days or Facebook. Like entrepreneurship, literally, entrepreneurs do not could care less about prestige. The venture capitalists, the people who invest in your company, will want to see like, oh, he has a degree. Me as an entrepreneur, you know what I respect? People who have started companies and people who have sold companies. If you have started and sold company, that tells me more about the work that you've done and who you are as a businessman, or as you know, just as a self starter, than a 4 year degree. Like 4 year degree, how many people have 4 year degrees? Thousands of people. Versus how many people have started and sold a company? How many people have a 4 year degree? I think it's hundreds of thousands of people. How many people have started and sold a business? Like 1%, a fraction of those people. Won't it help if you graduated from Stanford to VCs? I mean, look, heroes, people drop out of Stanford to start companies. Yeah, entrepreneurship, literally no one cares. All they care about is your track record. You know, if I'm hiring you and I work as an entrepreneur, I want to see like what you've made on GitHub. I want to see your code. I will be that nitty gritty. They could care less about your degree. I know kids at Yale who have computer science degrees and are absolutely useless at startups. Like they have not programmed. They can approach it from a very removed, academically removed angle, and yet can they actually build something? Can they work 14 hours a day? Can they sleep on the sofa, you know, while I'm sleeping on the couch? Or can they sleep on the floor? Can they sleep on the sofa while I'm sleeping on the couch? Oh my God, can they sleep? Never mind. Ignore that. Northwestern's, yeah, it's ranked number 9 in the country. Yeah, it's a great school. What can I say? I always felt bad. Most graduated from top tier schools. I mean, you're talking about the billionaires. You know, Zuck dropped out of Harvard, and so did Bill Gates. I mean, it's just not necessary. One last question. I'll answer one last question and then let you guys go. Mama Shalanga, dropping some real talk here. I love it. One final question, guys, and then I'm going to let you go. What else do people want to know? Can you describe a challenge that you were able to overcome and would have not been able to do this without Yale's support? I really don't think that there were any challenges that I overcame that I wouldn't have been able to do without Yale. It was not required to. I really can't think of a single one at this time. My biggest challenges were, I guess, romance and financial challenges, and I guess Yale helped, but it wasn't crucial to solving these problems. Like, sure, Yale helped because I was working as a tutor, and that was like my main source of revenue. And sure, the Yale brand helped a lot. I can't deny that, but I'm sure I would have figured out another way to make good money if I had gone to Georgetown, for instance. Same thing when it comes to romance. Like, I met my current girlfriend and stuff like that through a study abroad program of all things. So I'm sure I could have found the same study abroad program at a different school. It's not like that big of a difference. Attendance on FinAid, yeah, I don't know the exact numbers. I'm pretty sure 50% is not on any aid whatsoever. But I don't really know the specific metrics for how many students are on full aid. It's not clear. And I want to say it's not that many. I want to say it's like maybe less than 20% of kids at Yale who are on full financial aid. Because I know kids at Yale are kind of poor and still had to take out loans. Like a lot of kids that just end up being middle class. But kids like me who are Questies, Questbridge grads, just on full aid, I don't think there were that many of us. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for joining. I am so deeply honored to have your presence. Know that I am constantly rooting for you. Your success is my success. I'll catch you at the next one. All right, guys. Peace.